Hey everybody, this is Millennial Minds. I want to talk about this whole topic about the corporate plantation and how I feel that we kind of need to change that mindset. Because personally, everyone can't start a business. It's not for everyone. I've had my business endeavors and I've worked with companies, and you'll hear me say that I work with a company. I don't work for anybody. If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. Like just with anything. Yeah, they might have you on paper as an employee, but at the end of the day, you need to be thinking about yourself. I don't really care what they have on the books and all that stuff. If it doesn't meet my criteria of what's acceptable as far as finances and benefits, things like that, then I'm not going to take the position. What I mean? Just like anything, just same as working for yourself. You're performing a service for a paycheck. So we need to kind of get away from that. And this is just my point of view. I know a lot of people really push starting your own business and starting your own company, but I think we need to look at it on the other side. Last year, 2018, 2017, and 16, a lot of businesses, there was a lot of growth, but the same as any other year, a lot of businesses went under. Most of it was due to underfunding. Pretty much, businesses weren't ready to start when they started. And pretty much what that means is if you're expecting for your business to make $20,000 a year, or let's go big, let's say 200,000, and that's averaging 17,000 roughly a month. That first 2 months is doing great. You know what I mean? Then the next 3 months you don't make anything. Let's say you lose money. A lot of businesses, that's why they'll end up closing. You know what I mean? Just because you had those 3 rough months doesn't mean then the 3 months after that you might double. You might make 34,000. You know what I mean? And I think that we need to kind of change the mindset of the corporate plantation, because if you're going to start a business, your goal should be for that business to continue running. You know what I mean? That should be your goal, to do that forever. So there's a time and place for everything. If you want to start a business, make sure you have the money. Make sure you have the assets. Make sure you're together. You know what I mean? If you want to start a business and leave a company, this is from the standpoint of you're leaving a company. Make sure you have enough money to do that. If you're trying to start a business and your household needs $50,000 a year for you to live, and you don't have $100,000 in the bank, or you know what I mean, you don't need to start a business. Honestly, I'd recommend that you have more than that, but depending on what the business is and depending on what the opportunity is, sometimes opportunities arise and you just got to kind of hop on it. It might not be the best time for you to start a business. You might want to save your money for a while, because last year I had 2 close friends started a business, real estate, and this is actually back in Vegas. And one did well; they're continuing to do it. Another did very well early on. Left his corporate job, left the plantation, as a lot of people are calling it, and it was really for nothing. He left. He made this fat money for like a month or two, and then things got slow. And if he would have continued on, we found out the properties, the properties that he was working with ended up selling. It would have been beneficial, but he didn't have the assets. He didn't have that money to the side to do that. And I think it's just a mistake. If you're going to do it, make sure you're ready to do it. If you're not ready to do it, then don't do it. Don't put yourself in a tough situation. So all I'm saying is, don't devalue anyone's efforts. If someone says, hey, well, I'm going to save up a couple years before I start this business, we shouldn't look down on them. Personally, and I speak a lot about our community, my community, but this is really for anybody. You can't devalue anyone's efforts. If a man or a woman is working to support their family, support themselves, or their future goals, their future business endeavors, don't look down on that just because they don't have their own business or they're not hopping on it immediately. You have to be tactful in this. You have to be, it's not checkers, it's chess. You gotta look at the long-term goal. You have to make some sacrifices here or there. You can't just hop all over the board willy-nilly. You gotta plan stuff out. be smart about it. If you don't plan to be successful, then you just plan to fail. So that's really the biggest thing I wanted to talk about. And I understand that there's a lot of benefits to business ownership. In a lot of cases, you're going to see a bigger payday, and you're working for yourself. There's a lot of flexibility. Pretty much, you call the shots. At the same time, there's a lot of risks. So you kind of have to balance that stuff out. Like, one lady, Meredith, she's in safety, is a pretty close friend of mine now, or I say colleague, whatever. And she works for herself as some type of consultant in safety. And she was telling me, yeah, she might bring in $200,000 a year. When she told me that, I was like, yeah, that's great for that field. You know what I mean? But she told me as well that her covering her insurance, that's not just medical insurance, that's business insurance. It's a huge expense. So when she explained all this stuff to me in her retirement and all these different things that a lot of people usually take for granted, taxes, things like that, she told me somehow it worked out that she actually is making less than $100,000, which I understand for most people that's pretty good money. But she's been in the field for 30 years. Everyone has different expectations. So, but I thought that was kind of mind blowing. It's like if she would be on the other side, on the, I guess you say, corporate side, she'd be doing just about the same, if not a little bit better as far as the actual dollar amount goes. But it all depends on your field, and I really push that a lot, because this happened to me myself. I was working for one company, and I left that company to work for another company because work with another company. I saw a different dollar amount, but me being young and not knowing a lot of stuff and being new to the field, or the workforce, I didn't consider benefits because I went to this other company for more money, but my benefits were more expensive. They were like trash, and it didn't cover a lot. My 401k match was not even comparable. And when I balanced all that stuff out, it's like, and I'm not really doing any better at that company than the original company. So you really got to balance all that stuff out. And there was other benefits and discounts and things like that. So don't always look at that one number. One company says, oh, we're going to pay you $80,000. Another company says, oh, we're going to pay you $100,000. But your benefits are trash over here, and you actually end up, averaging it out, and you make like somehow $84,000, but your benefits and everything at the other company are more beneficial, and those discounts, whatever. I'm just saying, balance everything out. Don't just hop at a number. You know what I mean? People get stuck on this mindset. Oh, six-figure salary, and that's like the best thing on the earth. But you got to really consider all those benefits. And it might not matter for you right now, but it might also matter for you in the future. I also found out that second company I'm talking about, they offered like some crazy, pretty much it maintained the same. Like your vacation, originally you start with 12 days. That company, after 10 years, you still had like 12 days. With the original company, after 10 years, I would have got like 24 days of vacation. So it's more beneficial to look at all sides of the fence before you make a decision. Don't just hop at it because you see a number. So that's just my main focus for this video. There's a time for everything. Don't just hop at stuff. Make sure that you really consider everything when you're making a decision working with a company. And when it's time to start a business, when you feel that it's beneficial for you and your family and your situation, go ahead and start it. But make sure you're ready. Don't jump the gun on anything. Be tactful, be smart, make that money. If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. Don't hurt yourself. And maybe you'll make less money, but it might be worth the flexibility for you. Just balance everything out. If it doesn't make sense for you, then why would you do it? If you don't have the money to start a business, then why would you do it? Wait till you're ready to start a business, all right? Well, that's my main focus for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. And once again, I'm not discrediting anybody that is pushing for people to get off the corporate plantation. All I'm saying is make sure you're ready. Don't jump the gun on anything. If you're not ready to do something, why would you do it? I'm tired of seeing people start something and then it doesn't work out and they're right back and they're kind of having to start over. Make sure you're ready the first time.